the summer's shaped up to be a brilliant time, hasn't it?
To make a profit on a player who wanted to go, with 2 years left on his deal, is great business.
It's going to be a big loss.
It's the most excited I've been about signings since Barnes and Beardsley.
Is Alexander Isak going to be a Liverpool player?
Do you know, with each day, I'm getting more confident.
This feels like a team that could genuinely dominate European football for the next 5 years.
It's an appetising prospect, isn't it? The spending's not over yet, even if Isak doesn't come in.
Everyone's, licking their lips and saying, Board, what a great job you've done.
I think we're way ahead of everyone.
I don't think I've ever looked forward to a Premier League season as much as I have with this one. Hello and welcome to Inside Liverpool on TalkSport's YouTube channel, a show where we take a deep dive into all things Liverpool. Premier League season still a few weeks away, but there is plenty to talk about with regards to Liverpool and in particular transfers. I'm your host, Sam Ellard. Alongside me today, a man that played in a Champions League final for Liverpool, Jermaine Pennant, and one of the most respected voices across all things Liverpool, Tony Evans. Gents, how are we?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Good. Tony?
Well, yeah, the summer's shaped up to be a brilliant time, hasn't it?
It's brilliant. As I've got a little bit older, I've tried to get less excited about transfers, almost. Let's just wait till the season starts. But this summer, I feel like I'm a kid all over again. I'm just sat scrolling through X, waiting for notifications and everything that's happening is great. I need to get a life, really.
No, do you know what? I'm kind of the same. I'm on Sky Sports app every day, scrolling, refreshing it. Have we made progress?
It's fine. I think you're supposed to say I'm on TalkSport listening, waiting for... Should we do that again? Do you want to edit that bit in? And also, just you guys will hopefully do most of the talking, but I've literally just come back from a stag do in Prague, so I'm a little bit croaky. So it was busy. It was busy. A lot going on. One place to start. We're recording this on a Wednesday morning. Confirmed a few hours ago that Luis Díaz has gone to Bayern Munich. It's a package in total that will be 75 million euros, 28 years of age, won 4 major trophies with Liverpool Football Club. Before we talk, Jermaine, about the deal and what it means for Liverpool moving forward, how will Luis Díaz be remembered as a Liverpool player?
Oh, the fans, myself and everyone involved with the club will very high, fond memories of Luis Díaz. I think as soon as he came, we just took to him straight away. He didn't take him time to settle in. He just, hit the ground running. And it's been such a integral part of Liverpool and the success that we've had. In some of the goals he was scoring from the left, the assist and the link-up play with all our forwards, it's been fantastic. And it's going to be a big loss, for sure. But the way our window's going, it could be great for us.
If I was to maybe be, Tony, a bit critical of Diaz. I agree with everything Jermaine says. On his day, a brilliant player, a dangerous player, a tricky player. I think a player that the fans fell in love with kind of almost immediately. And I think you can see with him leaving, his message to the fans and the way we're reacting to him, it's just love there. Possibly the only frustration at times throughout a season, he can maybe be a little bit inconsistent. That when he's good, he's really good, but then he maybe have periods in the season where you'd almost be wanting a bit more from him?
Well, I mean, for me, and I don't want to be too negative about him, but his signature game was the Champions League final in Paris, where Ancelotti flooded our right to stop Trent and to stop Salah. And he basically said, you can have the left. And, Andy Robertson and Diaz never got the same relationship as Robertson and Mane. And the thing is, we created so little down there that night. And so I've always thought since then, as good as Diaz was, it'd be great if we could upgrade in that area. And hopefully we will. Yeah.
And then what also makes this deal, I think from our point of view, brilliant, is 2 years left on his deal. We're making a profit on it. Yeah. The package in total is going to be, with the add-on, 75 million euros. So it's a profit of just under 30 million. And again, Jermaine, we'll talk a bit more later on in the show about, PSR and players coming in and players going out. But something that the football club has been so good at in the last decade, the Coutinho one is the obvious standout one, is selling players for really, really good fees. And I think for this to make a profit on a player who wanted to go, with 2 years left on his deal, it's great business.
And not getting any younger.
28, yeah.
Yeah, you got to look at the way the club has been run over the last decade, and it's absolutely first class. To be in this position, to be successful, and on the back of it still be in this position financially, is great, and you've got to give a lot of credit to our recruitment team, to the board. You know, FSG have had a lot of stick, but you know they obviously had a plan, and now you look, everyone's licking their lips and saying, board, what a great job you've done, and they obviously had a plan. Yeah. To at some place be in a very comfortable position like we are.
They're very much creatures of opportunity. So they won't spend if they think, if there's questions. But when they see a chance, and they're looking at this summer, and they've looked at this, and they've thought, Liverpool, with all the rivals in one way or another being subpar, and Liverpool winning the title unexpectedly and having the core of a brilliant squad, plus a lot of money because they didn't spend last year, have gone, right, now's our chance to set ourselves up for the next 5 years, to make sure Manchester City don't have a chance to bounce back, to put the other clubs in their place, and they've gone for it. And, they've always tried to explain that to people for years and years and years. I mean, the classic example is when they bought the club. They saw the club available. They saw it was undervalued, so they went in and bought it. Didn't know much about it, bought it. They saw the opportunity and grabbed it. And that's turned out for them well. And this summer, I'm saying hopefully, it's got all the hallmarks of being a brilliant piece of opportunism.
Yeah, I mean, you've covered Liverpool and obviously Liverpool fan for many, many years. I mean, this is a summer that's completely unique, isn't it? We've obviously had times where we sign good players, but kind of to go out and spend this amount of money and to try and go into the window in this kind of way, it's completely unique, isn't it?
It is, and also it's the most excited I've been about signings since Barnes and Beardsley in '87.
I wasn't even born, Tony, then.
No, yeah, but it's one of those.
I was 3.
Okay, there we go.
But yeah, some of us remember it vividly. But no, so not only is it about spending a lot of money, it's signing players who are exciting, and certainly in the Premier League era, there's been nothing like this.
Absolutely. Just one more on Diaz, and then we will talk more about what's to come next. The reports coming out before this deal got done, Jermaine, is that he wanted to move away. He wanted Bayern Munich. Did that surprise you?
A little bit, because of how well Liverpool have been doing and what they can still go on and achieve more. And I guess when you play, you want to win silverware. But there comes a point as well is where I've won everything with my club now. And these foreign players sometimes like to go on and experience other things. When you're homegrown, it's a little bit different. This is your city, your town, your country. So it's kind of sometimes expected. When you've literally cleaned the board and got everything, you do want to sometimes experience something else in a different nation.
Possibly.
And Bayern Munich it's a massive club.
And also, he might have been sat there thinking, Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak have all come in. Maybe I'm not going to be playing too much next season.
And on top of that, they're offering him probably triple what he's on at Liverpool, which Liverpool probably wasn't prepared to pay. So all in all, you can understand it.
Yeah, and more than any other player who's come in the last half decade or so, last decade even, he was only just passing through. You could see that. I mean, within 18 months of him arriving, he was flirting with Barcelona. Sure. So, I mean, and why shouldn't he? I'm not criticising him for that. But yeah, it all adds up to a very, very good deal for Liverpool. And I wonder how well Bayern Munich will come out of it. Hopefully not very well.
Yeah, well, we wish Diaz all the best. We've got a good fee from him, haven't we? So I think we're happy with that.
Yeah, so when you're gone, you're dead to me.
Yeah, oh really? One of those ones. Yeah, move on.
Savage.
There we go. Was that saying what you mean when he went? Honestly. So Luis Díaz then is a Bayern Munich player. We wish him all the best. Tony wants nothing but that.
No, I hope he does well.
Yeah, I'm only messing around with you.
So, not that well.
Yeah, no, not against us anyway. Not the Champions League. He can win 8 Bundesligas if he wants. The big talking point now is obviously Alexander Isak. So we know Liverpool want Isak. We know there's been a kind of approach to Newcastle where they basically said he's not for sale. Reports coming out in the last sort of 24 hours have been the personal terms have been agreed, but we wouldn't expect that to be an issue. Isak didn't go away on pre-season tour. He wants to move. How does this play out now, guys? Do you think that in a couple of weeks' time, when this transfer window is closed and Liverpool play Newcastle, third game of the season, isn't it, on a Monday night? Jermaine, is Alexander Isak going to be a Liverpool player? Are you confident we can get this deal done?
Do you know, with each day, I'm getting more confident. when we first rumoured that we was interested, I was like, optimistic with, okay, maybe it could happen. But the more we're hearing about it, not going to training, not going to Asia on the pre-season tour, then the possibility that Newcastle are in for Wissa and Sesko, that's giving me more, belief that this is going to happen. The fee as well, we can easily match, probably looking at maybe 130 million. So the way things are panning out, it's looking more and more likely that he will be joining than not.
On that number, if from a Newcastle point of view, he's got 3 years left on his deal. I mean, do you think that number there, 130, would they sell for that? I almost feel like, given that he has got 3 years left on his deal, they might even be wanting more than 130.
You probably start at 130 and then there'll be add-ons, like, usually, which would turn the round.
If he wins the league, wins the Champions League,
we'll turn the fee to probably 150 or 140.
How do you see it going, Tony?
Well, I think it's really difficult to hold on to a player who doesn't want to play for you. And the disruptive effect it has on the rest of the team. Plus, Newcastle have got profit and sustainability issues. They need to supplement the squads. They've made a hash of this transfer window. They need to get themselves back on track. What it comes down to me is whether the Saudi ownership is prepared to lose face and let him walk away. But, I mean, it would really be a really self-destructive move to keep a player who doesn't want to play for you. So I think in the end...
self-destructive, though, it's not... It happens before where a player wants to move, pushes for a move, doesn't get a move, and then comes back in, scores a goal, and all of a sudden everything's kind of forgotten about. Like, it's not impossible, is it, for Isak to come back in? It's
not impossible, but I mean, Jermaine will know much better. But it's never really forgotten. The resentments fester.
Yeah, it lingers to the start of the season, in the training
first goal, and it's all forgotten about, no?
And then once you're playing, you're going to think, well, I'm only hurting myself. I'm only punishing myself by not playing well, by not scoring, by not playing hard, training hard. So, but in the initial period, yeah, your mind's all over the place. You're upset. You're angry with the club. You're on the phone to your agent screaming, because that's what I was like when I wanted to move. So all that will be going on.
Can you give us an example?
Well, it's actually Liverpool. Okay. Yes, I was at Birmingham.
Okay.
And I got wind that Liverpool were interested.
How did you get wind?
Well, someone at the club who shouldn't have told me said, look...
At Liverpool?
Yeah. At Birmingham, told me that Liverpool sending scouts specifically to watch you throughout the full...
How did that make you feel, being a Porto fan, knowing the scouts were coming to watch you?
It was amazing. And me knowing that, I swear to you, every time I played, I thought, right, someone's watching.
Yeah.
So I gave it, extra motivation. But then when the season finished, I told my agent, you better make this move. And I kind of fell out of him. Like, I threw my toys out the pram and I said, if you don't make this happen, I'm not speaking to you.
Oh, really?
But you made it happen. For about 6 weeks. Yeah, but it made it happen.
You made it happen, yeah. And you told a great story to me once. Remember when you said you were playing for Birmingham against Liverpool, and did Stevie try and tap you up mid-game?
During the game, he said to me, he went, "You're right, Jay?" And I went, "Oh, hi, Steve." He went, "Who's your agent?" And I said, "Oh, X, Y, Z." And then he ran off. And I was like, huh? So the game's kicking off, playing, and I've lost all concentration and all kind of thought of what I'm supposed to be doing. I've gone running after him and saying, "Do you know him?"
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything. So he's literally, my head's in a wobble.
Yeah.
And I was on the right, and then I started chasing him to the left, and I can remember Steve Bruce shouting at me, going, "Jay, get back over here!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, jog back." Yeah, the ball went out of play. Ran over to him, said, "Oh, do you want his number?" Yeah. I don't know why.
Trying to negotiate a deal with Steve
let me get my phone out. Let me get my phone out mid-game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the story.
Brilliant stuff. You got your move and you've ended up doing all right, didn't you? So the Isak one is fascinating, isn't it? I mean, Tony, if we get Isak and we go into a new season with Salah, Ekitike, Isak, Wirtz and Gakpo, and possibly Harvey Elliott, I mean, that is just... this feels like a team that could genuinely dominate not just English football for the next 5 years, but possibly European football for the next 5 years. I mean, that is an elite level attack for years to come.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, you have to wonder how they'll gel. You have to wonder how long it'll take Wirtz to settle into the physicality of English football. But it's an appetising prospect, isn't it? You know, the firepower and ability there is just mind-boggling, and it just offers a huge opportunity for the team to go on and enter a dominant phase.
Yeah. I don't know if you've got any inside information on this, Tony, but if you were to guess, to go back to the beginning of the window 2 months ago, because we've done lots of business early. You know, Frimpong was done early, Kirkes was done early, Wirtz was done early. Do you think Liverpool, from the beginning of the transfer window, always wanted Isak? Because the only thing why, you know, we're 2.5 weeks away from the new season starting. Why do you think they kind of made that first approach quite late on in the window as opposed to asking the original question, let's say in June time, late May time?
I think they wanted to get Wirtz in first. The first rumblings about Isak go back to almost this time last year, probably a bit later, you know, early on in the season. You know, people were expressing their admiration, as they put it, for Isak fairly early on. And so I thought they always wanted him, but they were wondering whether there was any possibility of it happening. And obviously, what made the possibility even bigger is when you know, Trent leaves and Liverpool are on the back foot, and then they restock in such a manner that makes everyone in football sit up. And Isak must have thought, I wouldn't mind being a part of that, like. Yeah. You know, and that's the way he speaks, apparently. And,
is that right?
Yeah. He's already practicing Scouse.
Yeah, great. Trent had a Spanish lined up. Isak's got a Scouse lined up.
He's been taking Scouse lessons.
Yeah, good. So he should, right?
Yeah, so...
Hopefully better than Jermaine Scouse he just did over there. Steven Gerrard impression.
All right, mate.
Hey, you had 2 years up there playing.
So right, sound like a Scouse lad?
Nah, terrible. But no, so I think they're in a situation where not only are they extremely keen, and they've shown they've got the money, and they've definitely got the money, but they're even after winning the league, they're in a better situation than we were in May. You know, if you're a player, and again, Jermaine, you'll know much better, but if you're a player and you see all these top-class players coming in, you think, wow, wouldn't mind a bit of that.
You want a piece of that project. You want to get involved, because not only is it great to be a part of, but it also elevates your game. You know, if you're playing with world-class players, it makes your job easier. You then stand out as well. You're on the biggest games, the biggest screens and eyes watching your biggest moments. It's a dream for every player, and that's what we want. So the way we started business, like I said, everyone took note. It was like, whoa, take a step back. What are they doing? And Isak's no different. He's going to be like, oh.
I think Isak is, and I'm not just saying this now because we're linked with him. I promise you I've said it for the last 18 months. I think he's the best centre forward in the world. I know Haaland in the Premier League, his numbers, and he's obviously amazing as well. But I just think Isak's game, the ability to link play, the pace. I think if you look at all different attributes of Haaland and Isak, I think Isak has got a lot more attributes to his game than Haaland. The only one that Haaland's probably got that Isak doesn't is maybe the kind of the aerial ability, the way, Haaland can get above plays. But I think all-round game in terms of playing for Liverpool, I'd have Isak over Haaland every single day. I think his all-round game is much better. Just
to give us a little bit of optimism here, is that Isak put his Newcastle home on for sale.
Oh, wow.
Which was confirmed that it was his property.
Okay.
And it then shortly got taken off.
Wow. When was this?
Recently.
Oh, good.
Very recently.
It got taken off, though?
It got taken off because obviously, people probably got wind. So he's probably told the estate agents, look, just hold it back, don't put it on yet.
Yeah.
And that's been confirmed.
Okay, well,
so you're only doing that for one reason.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so, right? But and also another point, you make the Newcastle in the window. Like, the Saudis came in, and I think we all sort of thought, I know the PSR stops them just doing whatever they want, but we thought they were going to quite be, maybe dominant, aggressive in the, Yeah. But it is, you go back to even last summer, the one that stands out to me was the Gahey saga. Well, they had 3 bids for Gahey, all rejected, didn't get him. People have been coming and going in terms of sporting directors. Now they've got the Isak saga, the Ekitike saga, which is even another thing. They wanted Ekitike, we got Ekitike, now we want Isak. I mean, they're not acting in a very professional way, or in a good way, are they, in the transfer window?
No, I think there's been chaos behind the scenes. Players, gossip spreads, in the league. Newcastle, and it's a great place. I'd go and live there, but it's hard to get players to go there, particularly foreign players, when if they can go to London or Manchester or Liverpool, where the teams have bigger reputations than Newcastle, and the Saudis, they come in just the point when the financial rules changed, so they couldn't throw the money around like Manchester City did. City had a 5-year start, and well, never mind the 115 charges, which are still rumbling on. But it's eventually come to the conclusion. But Newcastle were never going to be in the position to spend money like City, where even though in theory they're the richest club in the world, and it leaves Liverpool, who've used the financial regulations to their advantage, at a point where they can outbid Newcastle to such a degree that it makes this idea of Saudi riches laughable.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people are asking, how can we keep spending this money? But we've spent more than £250 million this summer. But we got £175 million to win in the league. Last season was the club's first full campaign with a high-capacity stadium. We had a new kit deal with Adidas, which was big money. And of course, there was low spending in previous transfer windows, plus selling lots of players. I think since Richard Hughes has been in, which is the start of last summer, we've already sold up to nearly £200 million worth of players. So lots of people are going, how can Liverpool do that? But clearly, as I just said there, the money's there. And I think, it's not just Isak. I think we still got around £200 million to spend if we wanted to this summer. So the club, in terms of everything, the way it's being run, from a financial point of view, is absolutely bang on the money.
Yeah. And you've got to even mention Champions League as well. Obviously, qualifying for Champions League, qualifying for Champions League last year, and then winning the league also, getting into the quarters. There's a lot of revenue. Yes, a lot of revenue, TV rights as well. So like you said, that's easily 60, 70 million there. So you put all that together, we're in the minus in the PSR as in how much we can spend, because the PSR is over 5 years, not just one season.
Sure, of course, yeah.
So you spread that over 5 years. It's you're looking at 50 million you're spending a year. Yeah. So and the revenue is close to 700 million a year.
And you mentioned from whether it's FSG, Michael Edwards, and now Richard Hughes. I mean, Richard Hughes sort of took a bit of stick, didn't he, for 6 months to a year for not signing anyone, but he was kind of in the background, almost kind of cooking up his master plan.
Yeah, and he's done a brilliant job. People who criticise them, they jump to conclusions way too quickly. I think on the final show of the year, I was talking about Liverpool spending about 250 million in the window. I've underestimated that. With the outgoings, they can probably afford another 200, 220, or another 250 million. And they'll certainly bring the centre half in. The spending's not over yet, even if Isak doesn't come in.
And then one more on Isak. If he doesn't come in this window, if a deal was just impossible to do, the two questions are, do you think we look at alternatives for this summer, Jermaine, or do you think the club might say, OK, fine, we've still got Ekitike, Nunez, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo, and then next summer, with 2 years left on his deal, that could maybe be an easier deal to get done next summer?
It will definitely be easier because, just that 1 year in itself, taking off the contract, that's, little territory where clubs start getting a bit, squeaky all the time. Yeah. It will be definitely easier next season. If we don't get him this season, then listen, he's 100% going to be, I reckon, a Liverpool player. I don't think Liverpool will let another team come in and steal such a player off their site in the site. So hopefully it gets done this season, but it will come next season if not.
And do you think they'll wait for Isak for next summer or look at alternatives this summer?
Well, I think if you look at what they did with Van Dijk, if they fancy a player enough, they'll wait. Yeah, and again, like I say, with Fenway Sports Group, their ethos is opportunity, but also class. So they're not going to go buy a player. They've always said that right from the beginning. They're not going to go and get second best or third best if they think long-term they'll get the first choice. But like Jermaine, I suspect that it'll get done. If it doesn't, I think Ekitike can fulfil the role up front in the centre. And I still think there's a multitude of riches there. Yeah. So, there'll be plenty of goals, that's for sure.
You think a centre-back will definitely get done this window?
Yeah, definitely.
Any name? Gahey's been the one that we've been linked with for the last kind of month or so. There's talk of Palace looking to bring in another centre-back. Do you think Gahey would be the first choice, perhaps?
Yeah, I think he's up there. I think they've got a few options, and they're also looking at some younger players.
Sure.
But I think they want someone battle tested in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So Gay is right at the front.
I think Gay ticks all the boxes. Premier League experience, international experience, comfortable with the ball at his feet. You know, captain Palace, so he's a leader, young and Premier League quality.
I would say he's better with the ball at his feet than Konate.
Definitely.
And Konate's got 1 year left on his deal, hasn't he?
And he, like I said, he's such a good, strong, he's quick, he can hold himself in the air as well. I think it'll be a perfect replacement. I would love to see Mark Gay come to Liverpool. And like I say, you're getting him at 70 million now, you're getting him at a cut price, maybe 40, 45 max. So,
yeah.
You know, it's looking good.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left on his deal at Palace. Newcastle tried to get him last summer, couldn't get him. So in terms of then the centre-back options, Tony, it's obviously at the moment it's Van Dijk, it's Konate, it's Gomez. Kwanzaa left in the summer to buy Leverkusen. Do you think it would be Gahey on top of that, or do you think Liverpool, with Konate having 1 year left on his deal, being the shrewd businessman that they are, FSG and co, might look to maybe get some sort of fee for Konate? Could they be happy to let him run down his contract for 1 more year?
Yeah, they've shown that they're not shy about letting people run down the contract.
True.
But if the right players were available and they could get them in, I think they'd move Konate on. Because that makes sense, and I'm still iffy about Konate. I mean,
I thought last season was his best season. I think he was at his most consistent best last season.
But you know what upset me?
Go on.
Limping off with cramp in the second period of extra time in a Champions League knockout game with penalties looming. Didn't like that.
Really?
Did not like that. I mean,
it doesn't strike me though as a player that's going to go off. You know,
Jermaine, would you limp off with cramp at that stage?
Depends how bad the cramp is, right?
It depends how bad the cramp is, because sometimes cramp's horrible. But no, you got to. Also, he's a defender, so he's not going to be taking any penalties. He's not going to really give you anything, really, in the last couple of minutes of the game. But you try and stay on the pitch as best you can. You know, but if you can't physically kind of sprint anymore, you're only going to hinder your team. So it's better you put someone on who's got a bit of fresh legs who can get up and down. Yeah,
but let's hope so. And then in terms of players leaving the football club, Darwin Nunez is still a Liverpool player, and I think we've discussed this on the last couple of episodes that we all wanted it to work out, we all backed him, but 3 years in, it just hasn't worked out. Will he leave? Do you think someone's going to come in?
Someone will come in. It's all about if Liverpool sets and agree the right price.
Don't want to be really negative. Are we at a point now where they'll almost take anything for him?
I don't think anything. You don't want to lose too much on it. I know
they're going to lose a big chunk right away, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
we're not going to get 60, 70 million pounds for him, are we?
No, not at all. I think we'll probably be in the minus maybe 20 million, out of pocket. But if we can get 45 million.
Come on, Saudi.
I think you'll take that and you'll be happy and say, look, thank you for your services and we wish you well. And now we're going to use this money to get Isak in.
Yeah, that bloke in Newcastle is quite good, yeah.
The one who keeps on terrorising us every time we play him.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be there.
Either way, yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think if the worst comes to worst, they'll send him out on loan and pay a proportion of his wages.
Sure.
I don't think Slot wants him around.
No, I agree with you. Other players that have been linked with moves away, Harvey Elliott, who again I think is a player that I think we all like. He's a boy Liverpool fan. He's clearly a talented player. I think he showed that in the summer at the Euros. But I mean, just look at last season. I think it was pretty clear that Slot didn't really fancy him. Lots of players have come in those kind of positions that he occupies. Is it a move, Jermaine, that for all parties, Harvey Elliott moving on could be good?
Well, if you're Liverpool, you think as a manager, you want the best squad and a deep squad. So you're looking at Harvey and thinking, do you know what? He's not going to be my first choice, but I know I can rely on him. I know if things needed tweaking, I need to bring someone on to give a little bit of something.
It felt like last season he was quite reluctant to bring him on off the pitch.
No, I know, but I'm saying but it's always nice to know you've got that if you need to call upon. And you managers don't really care too much about some fringe players. They're there just to help. So this move, if it was to move, it's all down to Harvey. This is about him producing a move, getting his agent, getting his representatives, finding out who's interested and forcing this move. Liverpool won't force it. They'll sit there and think, okay, we can keep you in our squad. We'll use him whenever we can. But if a key team comes in, I think they'll go, okay,
I would say for him,
He's got to go.
He needs to go and play football now.
For his
I think
career.
he's too good to. But I know he probably loves being in Liverpool, but he's been in Liverpool. He's won all the trophies available. He's Klopp. He played a bit under Klopp, didn't he, Tony? But I think that his age and his ability.
22. You're
go and play football.
You're starting to, not the prime, but you're starting to get to that, senior part of, talk about being a senior player. But he's kind of a senior player now. So
but he's played a lot of football at his age,
needs to play, be a first team player, regular, in and out. Otherwise, his career at Liverpool will get stubbed.
Yeah, now, you see, this is where people who leave Liverpool, you want to see them do well. Because he really doesn't want to go. But there's no pathway into the team for him.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I can't see where Slot are playing. And as good as he is, I think for his own career, he needs to leave. And obviously, the plus side for Liverpool is to get a reason. Well,
should get a good fee for him. And especially on the back of a good summer of the Euros under 21s.
Yeah, and he might well come back to haunt us. But he's he's got loads of ability. But I just don't see where it fits into a slot.
Well, you asked the question I'll ask you now. What is Harvey Elliott's position?
I would say maybe kind of from the right-hand side cutting in.
There you go.
We haven't really...
10, 8, right-hand side.
Because he's always been a stopgap kind of player.
So when you've not got a solid position, it's difficult to break into any team because where do we play? Where do we put him?
He's an attacker.
If you've got a right winger, you've got a right wing. If you've got a striker, you've got a striker. You know that is where you are.
So I think it's one of those where I think it'd be a good move for all parties.
A team will have a position for him.
Cool. And exactly, I've been living like teams like Fulham, West Ham,
Aston Villa.
He walks into those teams, be one of their best players, wouldn't he? Probably.
Definitely.
Also, possibly maybe a left back. We know that Kirkgate has come in. Robertson and Tsimikas are both at the club. Joe Gomez could play left back if needed. Possibly one of those players, maybe Tsimikas, to move on in the summer.
Potentially.
We don't need 3 left backs, do we?
We don't need 3. I think I'd rather, if we had to have a backup, I'd rather see Robbo than Tsimikas as your second choice. I know his Robbo's getting on, but he still can be reliable. He's still got it,
and he brings leadership to the squad. He's got nous. He's been round the block. He's got that little bit of snarliness about him, which
bit of housery.
Which
we need that.
The team needs. So
And again, I think we touched on this towards the end of last season, guys. But it's not a criticism because we won the Premier League. But Slot was very adamant on his kind of 12, 13 plays that he trusted, and he never really kind of wanted to rotate, did he, throughout the season? I maybe thought that in the cup final against Newcastle, and maybe as well in that PSG second leg, that possibly the players that played almost 3 times a week throughout the season looked a little bit leggy and it almost looked like it may be caught up with us towards the end of the season. Liverpool have reached an agreement with Salford to sign a young player called Will Wright, 17 years of age. I think Arsenal had, a bid accepted to sign him, but Liverpool have kind of come in. I think you used, when we were talking earlier, Tony, a phrase of, you said Liverpool are being bullies almost in this window, that was almost kind of Real Madrid. They wanted a player, they go and get him. That's kind of been us this window, that if we want something, we go and get it. And it's great, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, the whole situation's changed. A decade ago or more, people used to say, the transfer market agents, you'd speak to them, they go, Liverpool, you see them coming. Now, when Liverpool come, they're pushing other clubs around. And, who does this? Real Madrid do it. They are the masters of it and probably the biggest bullies in football. But at the moment, I'd say Liverpool are the second biggest. They're bullying people with money, they're bullying people with potential, they're bullying people with wages. They're on top everywhere they go. And if they can that translates to dominance on the pitch again, I think it's going to be a remarkable period in the history of the club.
Yeah, absolutely. And where does that almost come from? Do you think it came from kind of last summer when there was the end of the era of Klopp leaving? Do you think everybody almost kind of sat together? Richard Hughes came in and they kind of looked at what they had, and we know we only signed one player, and then they kind of put everything in place to kind of go. Was this almost kind of part of a bit of a more of a long-term plan? No,
I don't think anyone expected it to happen.
Sure.
I think they expected Slot to come in and probably have a year of adjustments, and then through not spending last summer, they'd have more money to get Slot the sort of players that he wanted. But instead, we had a season which I doubt many people imagined.
I thought we'd come third last season.
And what it's done is everything's come together at this one moment where you've got loads of money, you've got the core of a brilliant squad that's dominated the division and only lost to the best team in Europe by fine margins. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, right, let's go for it here. Boy, have they gone for it.
Yeah, literally, 100%. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? Just on pre-season, as a player during pre-season, were results important at all? Or was it just about fitness? Like, did you ever go into a season thinking, goodness me, we've lost 3 of our 4 pre-season games, or are results completely irrelevant? It's just about minutes into
They're irrelevant to a certain degree. You want to win any game you play. And I think when you start getting into a routine of winning, it does kind of carry on into the season. I think when last year, when our pre-season was unreal, I think we didn't lose a game in pre-season. And then look at how the season panned out. But sometimes it's just like the first game or maybe the second game, you're literally just trying to get your legs back. You're literally coming off your holidays and just trying to get into that football mentality again. Get your breathing under control, run around a bit, get the jet lag out and see how it goes. And then you start, when the important games come in, like in pre-season, then that's when you start fine-tuning. Yeah, and results start matter then.
I think last 2019 was the last time we had a bad pre-season. And of course, that ended up being a pretty decent season, didn't it, in 2019? So it kind of just shows that maybe sometimes it just depends, doesn't it? We're playing, as we're recording this right now, by the way, we are playing pre-season friendly against Yokohama. Level of the break 0-0. Our wonderful producer, Anna, I'm obviously not watching it, has said, Salah inverts combo already looks fire. And that's already just excited me, that the combo looks fire. Have you ever, in any of your match reports, Tony, wrote the word fire? It looks fire? It looks lit? Or not really?
No.
I think you need to get that in, Tony.
Yeah, it's I'll work that in somehow.
Can you please do that?
But in terms of pre-season, so over the years, talked to a lot of players about it, and they've said they don't, losing in pre-season isn't really a problem unless you can see issues that are going to go into the. Yeah. For example, I mean, one player come into the club and his first day of training, they were like, oh, this doesn't look good.
Really?
And then they went to pre-season, it was like, oh, it's going to be a long year with him. So, it's, so when things like that happen, but when...
You got to throw us the name, Tony.
Oh, I can't.
Oh, come on. What year was it he came in?
It was Shirley Adam. And they all thought he was a great fella, but he didn't have the level of fitness for the club. So.
Yeah, that was. I remember getting quite excited about the Charlie Adams signing because he was really good for Blackpool. Yeah. But that shows why I'm not working out on. So he came in straight away, and right from minute one. They were like,
the first day of training, you're like, oh, we didn't expect this.
Yeah. Did you ever have that, Jermaine, as a player where someone comes in, you immediately know, yeah, this isn't going to work out? Or even the opposite, a player comes in,
do you know what?
Who is he?
I can remember was in pre-season in Hong Kong, and it took him a while to get going, but he ended up being, turning out to be a great little signing. But Lucas Leiva. Yeah? He was in, and I was thinking, where's this guy come from? Yeah. And I was like, Brazilian? Yeah. I was questioning it, thinking, we need to check his passport.
Yeah.
But I think
he didn't play like a Brazilian, did he?
No, not at all. And he looked out of place in pre-season games and training, and I was like, this is not a good signing. But he ended up being, playing loads of games and being an important little player for Liverpool.
He was at the club for about 10 years, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A really good servant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Level of the break there for 0-0. We did lose to AC Milan, didn't we, a couple of days ago? Interesting. If you look at the team he's picked for this game, I say it's pretty much the first 11, apart from the goalkeeper, and also Bradley's playing at our right back instead of Frimpong. So maybe he saw, the game against AC Milan where we got beaten. He's gone pretty strong. Ekitike starting as well. So pretty much going for it in this game.
Yeah, of course. And you need to get your strongest team out there. You need to start playing them in games. They need to gel. They need to know each other's weakness and strengths. In training games, within yourself, you don't really find that out. You only find that when you're playing in competitive games. So yeah, for me, if I was a manager, I'd be doing exactly that. Right, let me see my team, how they work. Then when we do kick off, I know, the tactics, how to play, who to go for. So I think it's good. And you look at the game against AC Milan, we had half our team playing on the second half.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You take that with a pinch of salt. Fully strength team, that scoreline wouldn't have been that.
I've just been away in 8 lads, and there's a couple of Arsenal fans, United, Chelsea there. And for 2 days, they didn't even speak about their clubs at any point. They were just watching on Liverpool and basically, Isak. Oh, no. And literally, I'm sat there, and this is like brilliant. Like other teams, I think, Tony, are just absolutely petrified of what this team's going to be. I mean, if you looking at other teams, I think Arsenal are going to clearly be stronger because they've signed Gyökeres. I think they're probably going to sign a left winger. Maybe that's Eze. So they're going to be strong. You'd imagine City would be more competitive than last season. But in terms of what our rivals are doing, how do you guys sort of see where other teams are at?
Well, I think we're way ahead of everyone. I suspect...
Big statement, that. Big statement.
Oh, it's true. Way ahead. It's hard to disagree with that.
I'll say we're ahead. I'll say it's going to be difficult this season.
We won the league.
Yeah.
We brought in Wirtz, Ekitike, Frimpong, and possibly Isak.
Oh, it's not going to be easy because obviously, because you've won the title, everyone's sort of got a target on you. But in terms of the business done in the summer, we're way ahead. I suspect the window for Arteta winning the title at the Emirates is closing and may well have closed. Don't see City's strengthening as being too much of a threat. And as for the rest, I'll tell you what, we've bullied the entire league this summer and some of Europe. And if we continue that onto the pitch from August onwards, this will be this could be a good year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arsenal will be better. I think City will be better, but in terms of where
Chelsea, I think Chelsea will be better.
Goalkeepers.
They're still, behind, but I think they're making improvements. Beating PSG is no easy mean. Touted the best team in Europe, so they will come good. Like I said, Arsenal definitely better. We've been talking and saying that they've been needing a striker for the past 3 years. Now they've got one. Finally got one. So is that them now complete? So they're going to be strong. And Man City, you can never write them off. They've got Rodri back, which is like a new signing. Like a new signing. So we'll see. I want
to talk about Rio Engamoa because he's maybe been one of the eye-catching players. Obviously, all the new players have come in, but 16 years of age. Lots of clips of him in training, doing the rounds on Twitter. Looks unbelievable. For someone that young, Jermaine, I'm not sure how old you were when you kind of first made your Premier League. How old were you when you made your Premier League debut?
On my Premier League debut, when I first started, my start was 21, but I think I made my debut.
What were you doing at 16? Where were you at 16?
I was at Arsenal. I made a cup game debut.
So you were in around the first team. Yeah. So for someone that young, clearly that talented, how do you kind of think he'll be managed moving forward? Will he be in around the first team for the next sort of year or two? Will they maybe look to kind of loan him out? How do you kind of think what's best for his development?
I think he has to be around the first team. Has to be in and around. And if he's not going to be on the bench or anything, you've got to get him out on loan and get him first team experience. Because going back to the youth development, it's not going to do anything for him personally because...
We're training with the players, training with Slot, Ekitike,
but having that carrot, that carrot, this is what it's like. This is how first team football is. And then all of a sudden getting that taken away, it's frustrating and it can really halt you. So the best thing, if he's not going to play, get straight out on loan. Get first team football in.
Even at 16, you think?
Absolutely.
Not too young to?
Absolutely. People say age, there's no age bracket anymore in football. If you're good enough, you're old enough. You're old enough. You play. If you can handle the physicality of it, where these youngsters nowadays, some of them are units, and they can, get them out there and play. It's only going to benefit them.
Kind of almost take a couple of kicks in the Championship to almost harden him up a little bit for what's to come.
I think they'll keep him around, certainly for the first half of the season.
Sure.
And, so he'll be around the first team, around the bench, and maybe get a bit of playing time. They like him a lot.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult for young players at Liverpool now because the strength and depth that they've got. 5 years ago, it was, people are saying, Liverpool's the best place for a young player to be. Now, not so much because of...
Is that a problem, do you think? Does that bother you? Or do you think with all the great players coming in, it's just this is where football's kind of out there? Well, is maybe the right answer a good balance?
Yeah,
go and sign the best players, but you also want to see it. You want to encourage young kids to come through the academy. Yeah,
you're going to have to be really top class to break through.
Yeah,
which might put some players off. But it's these things.
I think that's the way it should be, though, Tone. Yeah. That's the way it should be. You've got to be. If you're world class, if you're a wonder kid, then you will break through, and we'll find them. But if you're not, then unfortunately it doesn't happen. There's no point letting the average players trying to make it when they can't. You have to let the best, and if you're one of the best, you will break through. Lamine Yamal is 17. He's playing first team football at Barcelona. 17. Age is not a problem. If you're good enough, you will break through.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the one thing you'd say to any kids who'd say, it might be difficult to get to the first team, but you come to Liverpool, you learn all you can at the academy. You'll probably get some experience with the first team, maybe a few games. Well, that sets you up for your next move. You're going to get a good club.
When the season finished, I enjoyed celebrating, and I did enjoy arm hands up. I enjoyed a couple of weeks away from Premier League football. A little break, a little bit of cricket, but I tell you what, the last 10 days has got me. I don't think I've ever looked forward to a Premier League season as much as I have with this one. It is, as we mentioned, so unique, the situation we're in, where we're Premier League champions and we're literally going into the market, we're signing the best players, we're bullying clubs, and it feels like we are set up for not just a good season next season, but maybe a 3 to 5 year period where we're absolutely dominating. And we've got the Community Shield, don't we, in a couple of weeks' time. Life's pretty good, Jermaine.
Oh, life's amazing as a Liverpool fan. I can't remember, I'm on about from when I was about 3, when I first started, enjoying football and supporting a team, following my father, that I've been excited to see a season, to see my team play, than I have this window and what is about to unfold in front of my eyes.
Tony, you're a man in the know. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm not sure when we're next doing a Liverpool show, maybe the next couple of weeks. Prediction, how's this going to pan out in terms of Isak, in terms of the centre-back? How are we going to be looking come first game of the season?
I think they'll sign Isak. It may rumble on past the first game of the season, but I think they'll sign him. I think it's more likely to be done earlier. I think there'll be a centre-back coming in. I don't think the spending will stop there. I think if they see the right players, even a good young midfielder, they'll go in for that. I think that there is still plenty of work in the transfer market to be done, and this approach to the season will get even more exciting.
Do you know what? Should we just end it there? I wish you delivered that into the camera and we could have ended it there because it's going to get even more exciting. Jermaine, Tony, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
This is Inside Liverpool, and hopefully we can bring you a show within the next couple of weeks, and maybe then we'll be talking about some new Liverpool signings, hopefully Alexander Isak. But it's been a busy couple of weeks. We are just a few weeks away from the start of the new season where Liverpool go in as defending champions and hopefully maybe with the Swedish guy leading the line. Thanks for watching Inside Liverpool. We'll be back in the next couple of weeks.